everyone, Joe Brady here to share with you a really cool piece of gear. I've talked about Novoflex equipment in the past. I am a big fan of the Novoflex MagicBall, which is my primary tripod head. What I've got to show you today is the MagicBall Free. Well, it looks pretty tiny, doesn't it? And also, it's turned around. What does that mean? Well, I've got the tripod head here and I have the ball in my hand, and what is different is this is the part that screws into the top of the tripod. The ball goes into the top, quick lever lock, and it is in place. It doesn't look like much, but this piece of gear will hold 11 pounds completely steadily, and also gives you an amazing rotation ability from vertical to horizontal, all around. As soon as you get it the place you want, just a little tighten, and that's it. So let's take a closer look and see some of the uses and how this is going to be set up, because it's different than what you're used to. But once you get used to it, you're not going to want to go back to a standard ball head. Now I've got a camera here. There's a Sony RX10 Mark III, and this is a camera I often use this system on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the ball and actually screw it right into the bottom of the camera. Now, besides being how I'm going to mount the camera into the tripod head itself, also all by itself, it's turned out to be a very useful accessory. It's strangely comfortable when you're holding it. I just hold it in my hand like this, and it gives me my right hand free for focusing and zooming. Now, this camera has a 24 to 600 millimeter lens on it, so I need to be very steady. And having this extra handhold that's out of the way allows me to zoom all the way out and still keep it steady. Now, there's going to be a little shake at 600 millimeters, but they came up with a very clever way to minimize that and make it rock solid stable with a little accessory kit, which is a cup and an extension rod. Let's take a look at that. So here is the cup and rod, and this is an accessory that's available for the MagicBall system. And this does a couple of things for you. One, I can just easily, it just kind of pressure fits into the ball itself, and it forms a very stable platform. And by using your camera strap, you now have a 3-point system that will keep your camera very steady, even at long focal lengths. If you want to have it up this high, just tighten your neck strap. I'm going to put it down a little lower and show you how I typically film with this camera. So I can have the camera lower like this. I've got the rod up against the top of my stomach, and I've got my little LCD viewfinder out. So from here, I can very steadily move left and right, even at a long focal length like I'm using right now at 600 millimeters. In fact, take a look at this image. This is a handheld image using this system at 600 millimeters that was photographed in the St. Augustine alligator farm. So this little accessory, where you might not have thought of using something like this, is extremely handy. Now, going back to the ball system itself, this, as I mentioned, will hold a lot of weight. You might not think you could use it on something this big. This is a pretty heavy lens. This is a 70 to 400 A-mount lens with an adapter onto my A7. And in this case, I would take the ball and just thread it into the collar of the lens. Once again, a very handy hand-holding way. But let's take a look at it in the tripod. You would think this would be a bit much. And this is getting towards the upper end of the weight you'd want to put on something like this, but it actually holds it very steadily. Oh, and by the way, another option that you have is if you want to mount it the other way around, like the way the other MagicBalls work, you can actually take the screw out that is in the ball, put it in the bottom of the tripod head itself. In that case, the tripod plate would go underneath the camera, so you'd have a standard Arca Swiss type mount on top of this head, and the ball would go into your tripod like this, so it would look like a regular mini MagicBall. However, its real power and its real ease of use is when you use it the way it was designed. Put the ball on the bottom of your camera or your lens, put this on top of the tripod, in it goes, give it a quick tighten, and you'll be amazed how steady this is. Once you start using a MagicBall type head, like I said, you're not going to want to use a standard tripod head whenever this is available. This is the Novoflex MagicBall Free. I'm a huge fan of Novoflex, and this travels with me everywhere I go.